It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, WGNSSports.com, and Big G TV.
We are back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com. Time to talk some Smyrna hoops this morning. Boys coach Omar Smith is here. And, Coach, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Good to have you. And a lot of chatter around Rutherford County High School boys basketball this year, and it's not uncommon to hear, have you seen Smyrna? So that says a lot about the product that you've got out on the floor, and not that it should be a surprise, but this group has steadily been getting better and working hard, and you've got them at a good spot here, it looks like.
They have. Well, that's good to know that people are talking.
They're talking good,
yeah,
too.
Yeah, for sure. That's a
Maybe
good thing.
not Michael Voss, but
but you know, we got a good group of guys. They are slowly buying into what we're selling to them. Still a little pushback sometimes. I mean, we're dealing with teenagers, so there's that. But you know, I think the guys are working hard. They really want to win. We've kind of explained to them what's in front of them, the history and the opportunity to do something that has not been done very often at Smyrna. And I think they're looking forward to trying to get there. Sometimes they look a little far, too far into the future, but you know, like I said, we pull them back and get them to understand that, you know, we got to keep working and enjoy the journey right now.
Well, part of enjoying that journey for you is probably the knot in your stomach every game, because you've well, let me just run down a few scores. Beat Wilson Central on the road by 6, 56-50. Lost to Blackman 60-58, where, I mean, you led a good part of that game back and forth. Then an overtime game with a win with Siegel 82-73. And then last night you play your oldest rival, and it was like pulling teeth, but you pulled out the win 67-63.
And went to overtime in that one, too.
Overtime in that one, too. Okay,
yes.
So 2 overtime games in 4 games.
Yes.
Yeah.
I jokingly told the guys in the lobby, I said, I think the scouting report for us is to get down 10.
Okay.
And then come back. Because I know we've been up 10 the last 3 games, and I'm almost positive we were up 10 at Wilson Central as well. So I think the big thing is for us is to learn how to – you get up 9, 10 points on the team and just keep doing what you're doing. We kind of lose that a little bit, and that's something that we're working on.
Well, nothing like your hair's still there, so I mean it's not falling out yet. But that is an exciting part about that too, because you've won 3 out of 4 of those games, and having a chance to win the other, obviously, there as well. So you're competing, and these are games that a year ago, 2 years ago, it's not that close.
They're not close. You're right. And I think this is a product of us, the things that we just continue to preach to the guys. We got a lot of guys that have been in the system for some years, and they've been through those struggles, and they understand. Yeah. And they don't want to go back to that, and they're trying to build something. So, like you said, really the big thing is the hard work, the film study, being coachable, and they finally bought into it. Like I said, not quite where we want them to be yet, but they're getting there. And you can see the results.
You know, I wondered about that Laverne game because it's Laverne.
Yeah.
But, you know, you have the tendency to look at a record and say, well, Laverne hasn't won a game this year.
Yeah.
But, you know, they've got some athletes.
I think, and people listening to this are going to cringe when I say this. To our players, Stewart's Creek is our biggest rival.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't understand the Smyrna-Laverne rivalry, and we preach it and preach it and preach it. And
You do.
Yeah, I do. And, you know, we've got a kid, A.J. Wright, who played at Laverne last year. And I went down the line, and I asked everybody, who is your biggest rival? And they went Stewart's Creek. And I said, A.J., when you were at Laverne, who's your biggest rival? He said, Smyrna. And so trying to get them to understand it. And then, like you said, you add to the fact that they hadn't won a game this year. It was just tough. And I told the guys, I said, I don't know how many games they're going to win, but they want to win the 2 against us.
Mm-hmm.
and so you better be prepared for it. And so, we went in halftime last night up 10, and you could hear those guys. They were excited. They knew that they were in striking distance of us, and they just kept plugging away. Hats off to them. They kept fighting, and our guys kind of like a deer in headlights a little bit when they realized, oh, this team is really gunning for us.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why there is, a score and a year kept, on that game in that series.
Right.
Now you do it for Stewart's Creek too. I understand that, but you really have two huge rivals.
Yeah, I think I might need to take them up to the football locker room.
That's
so they
kind
can
of
see
what
the
I
wall,
had in my mind.
so they can understand like there's no other schools on this wall other than Laverne and Stewart's Creek. But, I think they got Laverne got their attention last night, and I think they'll know going forward that how serious this rivalry is.
We're talking with Omar Smith this morning of the Smyrna Bulldogs here on the Coaches Show. I did want to talk about a couple of your players, and our SRM Concrete Solid performer for you. Got to go with Mr. Matthews. Let's see. Caden had 24 points in the 2-point loss to Blackman, 23 in the win over Wilson Central, and 21 against Siegel in that overtime game. So he's poured in 60-plus points for you in 3 games.
He's having an awesome senior year, and the kid just shows up to work. He'll come practice for an hour and a half, 2 hours, then he'll stay and work some more after practice. He really wants to be good, and so you can tell that hard work is paying off for him.
Let me ask you about that. Talk about the number of hours when you're in basketball season. Because these kids are in school and they take a full load of classes and whatnot, so they're in school. So just take us through an average practice day. And maybe you mentioned Caden. So how many hours is he putting in after school?
It's a lot. Because his dad's the head coach at Smyrna Middle, so sometimes he'll just go over there and he'll get shots about the practice. But we'll go first period, film, get shots up first period, practice after school for an hour and a half. Then he may stay for another hour and a half after that, and he does that quite often. He's in the gym more than I am, and I'm in there a lot. So hats off to him for that.
Well, that's 5 hours already a day that you're talking about.
Right. And like you said, on top of a full class schedule as well. So he's putting in, and he has a job, so he's doing a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and going to dad's gym at the middle school. My point about that is, everybody wants to be the star. Everybody wants to be the guy that scores 30 a night, has a couple of dunks, the big 6'7" guy that's 5'11", but hard work is what gets you there. And right. I think that's one of the great things that high school sports teaches is hard work. If you want to win, if you want to get to this point, it's going to take this work, and that carries on whether they play basketball or not, carries on into their work and their family and that kind of thing, which is why you coach.
Absolutely, and we preach that to the guys. We tell them at some point, one of my favorite coaches was John Thompson. He used to keep a flat basketball on his desk, and I came in this summer, I had a basketball, and I took a knife and I cut a hole in it. It was an old ball that we don't use anymore. And I just explained to guys that at some point this thing's going to stop bouncing for you, and you're going to have to do something else. And so learn these lessons through basketball, hard work, perseverance, being coachable, taking criticism, doing what you're told to do, and not arguing every time something doesn't go your way. And so we want those guys to understand and apply that to their everyday life.
And then that adversity, the kid who tweaks an ankle, can't play for a couple of weeks, the anguish that goes with that. I mean, the life's problems that come in there. And no matter how good you can play basketball, there comes a time when your body won't let you do it anymore.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And another kid I want to shout out is John Kinzer. He's another one who works. He just scored his 1,000th point last night, and many may have seen the article that came out about him this week. And he's bowling. He has a child. He works. He carries a 3.8 GPA, and so we preach to those guys that hard work matters. My point guard Brody Webb's 3.9 GPA. he has a job, and just understanding the focus that you have to be successful. And I think hopefully that our younger guys are learning from those older guys and what it takes to be successful.
And that's the mix that you have to build a program is, those older guys pouring into those younger guys,
Absolutely.
bringing them along. And no criticism, but I don't know that you've had that year after year, but this bunch surely has set the bar very high.
Oh, we haven't had that. I can, I love all the guys I've had, but this senior group that I have is the best group of leaders on and off the court. Like I said, academically, behavior, they just do everything right. They're not perfect, but they just strive to be great and do everything right. And I think that's the biggest key for us right now. People talk about our talent. I think we're talented, but I don't know that this is the most talented team I've had at Smyrna, but they are the most disciplined and just laser focused on trying to accomplish a task.
Well, one thing that I can tell about you, and not that you didn't enjoy coaching the other teams, but this seems a little more enjoyable. It's fun to go to work with these guys who respond to what you're trying to do and what you say, and then they help you carry out the vision on the floor.
Absolutely. And you can even see it now. Guys are, they're holding each other accountable. And sometimes it gets a little uncomfortable, but, they understand, they hug and shake hands afterwards, and they move on. And I think it's just, like I said, it's just flowing down throughout the program.
You've got Riverdale at home on Tuesday, then at Stewart's Creek, then host Oakland, then at Blackman. That's your next couple of weeks. And I know you're going to say one at a time, but you mentioned Laverne last night. You had them there. Then you've got Stewart's Creek next Friday night there. And they're your team's biggest rival.
Yeah. I'm not worried about that game just because our guys, they're going to show up for that one for sure. I don't doubt that one bit.
Well, Omar, looking forward to it, and we've got that game circled on our broadcast schedule, and always look forward to doing the battle for North Rutherford County there, and or the Mayor's Cup or whatever. I don't know, whatever you name it. But looking forward to seeing your guys this week, and appreciate you coming in this morning.
Thank you so much.
That's Omar Smith joining us here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Alex Williams, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
So what if your roommate decides to microwave a metal mixing bowl and set your apartment on fire? I'm State Farm agent Ron Reeves. Auto, renters, frankly, any kind of insurance. I've got your back. Call me at 615-873-1700.
It's not just your home or car. I'm State Farm agent Emerson Williams. We see your home and car as the time and memories that